Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on microtonal bending, or what also is called quarter step bends, and I like to refer to it sometimes as just tweaking your notes. We are going to focus on the pentatonic scale, and this is going to continue our pentatonic box breaker series on to number 5. And basically what we're going to do in this lesson is just look at some notes within the scale that we can just add this little quarter step bend to give us a little bit of a bluesy sound and add a little bit of voice to our playing. When you start playing around with the pentatonic scale, if you don't add these little inflections, these little embellishments into your playing, then your playing can sound really bland and your solos just kind of don't have any life to them. So what we'll do is we will first give you a little breakdown of what notes we're going to apply these to, because I think they sound the best on 3 different notes within the pentatonic scale. The notes that I'm going to have us work on are going to be the C note, the D note, and the G note. In other words, if you're thinking about intervals, it's going to be the flat third, the fourth, and the flat 7. And what this is going to sound like is going to be like this. So that's the third. You've all heard lines like this where they go. Right? So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys some examples of me playing it without the bend, without the quarter step bend, and I'm going to do it with the bend. So like I'll just give you a simple little phrase, right? So imagine if I just went. That's without it, very dry. If I add this little bend in these spots, listen to this. Sounds a lot more vocal, and it has a little bit of life to it, other than that just dry kind of dead sound when I just played the notes without adding any embellishment to it. So that's going to be the basis here. Now I want to highlight on the screen, I'll put a fretboard diagram of where these notes are. So we are actually going to use the first shape of the pentatonic scale, but I am going to extend a little bit. I'm going to extend back into mode 5 to end this phrase that we're going to learn. And let me play this track first, and I'll give you a couple examples over it, and then we will kind of break this down. Here we go. I'm going to play it first with no embellishment, so you can just hear the difference. So you can hear that sounds kind of dead, right? Let's add this little bend to it, this quarter step. Okay, so you can hear there when I add that little bend, it just adds life to it, right? So this is what we're going to do. The way that you do this is we're going to be playing on the top part of the pentatonic scale. Our first note that we're going to bend is the C note here on the high E string. And we're going to resolve that back to the A note, the 5th fret. So it's going to look like this. And I'm just doing a little lift off. A quarter step bend is not quite a half step bend, and it's not a whole step bend. So when you do this microtonal bending, basically all you're going to be doing is just getting a slight lift off on the note. So you play the note and you just start to push it up. You get that sound. I'm not pushing it a half step, I'm not pushing it a whole step. And then I'm going to resolve it back. I'm going to do the same thing on the 8th fret of the B string. And I would just go back and forth between those two first. And you can see I'm using my 3rd finger here. You could use your pinky. I like to do this little stretch with my 3rd finger, but that's totally up to you how you want to do this, right? The main thing is listening for that light lift off. You don't want to go too far. You don't want to go, right? That's too far. you just want a little bit of a scoop. And you can also hear too, when I play this, I kind of cut the note at the top. And what's happening with that, if I kind of look at this camera over here, my right hand, or the picking hand, is sort of coming in as I do the bend. So I'm doing the bend up and I'm bringing this hand in to mute the string. And then I pick the 5th fret. Now, an alternative thing you could do is you could bend and release. So you do the scoop and then release it. And I do a down, up pick if I do that. So I'm going down, up on the release, back to the 5. That line would sound like this. On the 2nd string would go. Then I'm coming down the scale. Then we're doing a quarter step on this 7th fret of the G string. And then on the 5th fret of the G string, I'm tugging it down lightly. And I'm resolving there. So it's got, this whole thing is looking like this. And that's the first part of this lick. If I do the bend and release thing, it'll go. It's a little tricky if you do that one, so maybe stick with the first one. And then we're going to continue this lick where we're going to start from the 5th fret of the G string. We're going to pull, release, come down, pull, release, down, down, down. So it looks like that. Okay, so that is going to be the whole lick. It's going to look like this. Now, with my index finger, I usually don't recommend people to bend with their first finger, but in this case, these are such small bends, you can use your index finger to pull down. So you can just do a light, because you're just doing a little lift off. It's not really going to hurt you. That kind of thing. And they're just fun to mess around with also. Like when you just start doing this, it just sounds cool. So you could play a little A minor chord. You know, and you could just throw in these just to practice, like just kind of loop a couple chords. I think in my track, I'm just going A minor, C, G, F. And I'm just essentially just practicing this little routine where I'm just kind of focusing on those notes. So I'm focusing on C, D, and G. And it's super cool. I'm going to play the track a little bit. And I want to just improvise some more and give you guys some examples of this. All right, so just like some little examples there to give you guys like a bit of context that you could work on with this. It's a really fun idea. It's very simple. You're just going to focus on those three. So maybe write out where those notes are and then just practice on backing tracks targeting those notes. Super cool. You can add that into all this other stuff we've been working on with the pentatonic scale. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this short video today. Thank you, guys. If you haven't been following along to the other pentatonic box breakers in this series, I'm going to link those videos in the description. It would help you immensely if you watch those videos. There's tons of stuff. There's downloads and things like that. I will also put like a little tab of some of the licks that I did here so that you can practice them. Anyway, guys, check out my flashcards on Amazon. The fretboard memorization deck, they'll help you memorize your notes on the fretboard, music theory, intervals, all that kinds of stuff. And then also check out my music theory course at tunedinguitarcourses.com. I hope this video helped you. Please like and subscribe to this channel, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow the channel. God bless you.